We did it. We did it. We did it. Hooray! We're finally at the end of the Royal Rumble retrospective review series. And it has been a long, grueling last couple of weeks to review all of the Rumbles and get them all out in time for you guys. But I want to thank all of y'all that have watched this series and have subscribed to the channel and have shown support. This is a UK release. So we are going to get into this show last year, to me, was not bad. Of course, it was an outstanding takeover event the night before this. You had 3 kickoff matches. You had Chad Gable and Bobby Roode defeat Scott Dawson and Razor. Why one member of Revival and one member of AOP was together, I'll never know. But hey, Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Rusev to win the United States Championship. Buddy Murphy defeated Kalisto, Akira Tozawa, and Hideo Itami in a fatal 4-way match to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. There was a bit of news before the show that John Cena was officially out of the Royal Rumble match. The ankle injury he had, he was just not going to be there, and Braun Strowman would end up taking John Cena's place. So does that mean John Cena was going to be the runner-up instead of Braun Strowman? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the deal with it was. I did not see the kickoff matches. But regardless, Royal Rumble 2019 took place on January 27, 2019 from Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. We started off with a video package, and the first match of the night was Asuka defending her SmackDown Women's Championship against the man, Becky Lynch. Looks familiar, huh? This year, Becky Lynch is facing Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship, which is a little funny. They faced off last year. But this opening contest was phenomenal. Asuka ended up beating Becky Lynch by submission, made Becky tap out at about 17 minutes. She flipped her into a bridge, and Lynch tapped out to give Asuka a submission win. It was the cattle mutilation submission that Daniel Bryan had used back in the day. This was a 4-star match. Really good opening match with Asuka winning the Battle of Submissions in a clean manner. I did not think the finish would end clean when it happened, because of how popular Lynch was, but it was nice to see in a clean finish, and it was really setting up for Becky Lynch to win the Rumble match later on in the night. My prediction was Asuka was going to win by count out or DQ to keep Becky strong, but no, Becky just tapped. Obviously WWE felt Becky could lose here because of the moment that happened later on in the night. Next up, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, The Bar, Sheamus, and Cesaro took on the team of Mac Miz, so Shane McMahon and The Miz. Shane and Miz were both wearing baseball-style jerseys. This gets 2.5 stars. This match was like 13 minutes. There was a nice spot, though. Shane went up top and hit a shooting star press on Cesaro, and Shane ended up pinning Cesaro to win the match. The match was average with a slow start leading to a clever finish. Shane's shooting star press looked really good for a 49-year-old man that never really does the move that often. Sheamus and Cesaro did their job well in terms of setting up the key spots and controlling most of the action. After the match, they showed Miz's dad at ringside looking proud of the Miz, who went over to hug his dad, and Shane hugged him as well. Of course, Shane would turn on Miz at Fastlane, and it would set up a Falls Count Anywhere match between them at WrestleMania, which was not a bad match. It was actually pretty decent. Next up, we get the Raw Women's Championship match. Ronda Rousey taking on Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship match. This match was not all that bad. I'll give it about 3.25. The match was all about submissions. There were some moments here and there. Obviously, Ronda Rousey hit a gut wrench powerbomb and hit a Piper's Pit Slam on Banks to pin her 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. And Ronda Rousey would retain the Raw Women's Championship over Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks, of course, was the longest woman in the first ever Women's Rumble match. And now this year she lost to Ronda Rousey. I don't know what the plan is for her this year. I don't know if she's probably going to be in the Rumble match. I don't know what the deal with it is. I'm hoping Ronda comes back also in the Rumble match this year. Now, there were a few times where I thought Banks may have been hit too hard in the head a couple times, and the referee was steady just checking on her repeatedly. They managed to get through the match just fine. Rousey ended up getting a pinfall win, which is rare because she usually wins by submission. The outcome did not surprise me, though, because I kind of thought Rousey was going to go into WrestleMania. After the match, though, Rousey and Banks kind of stood in over a sign of respect, and Banks nodded at her as a sign of respect. Banks left holding her arm, and Rousey had her hand raised in the ring while Banks looked distraught. So, yeah, it was pretty good to see. Next up, you had the women's Royal Rumble match. So last year, the men's was first, and then the women's. This year, the women's was first, and then the men's. The first two entrants were Lacey Evans and Natalya. Natalya would go on to last 50 minutes in this match, or I think a little bit longer. I need to look what it was. 56 minutes was how long she lasted, excuse me. 56 minutes and a second. You got to count that second in there as well. And she now has the record for the longest time for a woman in the Women's Royal Rumble match. Mandy Rose, who was the first woman eliminated in the Women's Rumble, was number 3. Then you had Liv Morgan come out at number 4, Mickey at 5. You know, there really weren't as many surprises in this one as there were in the other ones. You know, you had the Iconics. You did see Xyla Lee. Charlotte Flair was in the match at number 13, and she would end up going to the final 2 with Becky Lynch, who ended up entering in after Carmella, but Lana was hurt, so Becky ended up coming in and wanted to join the match. And the final 4 in the ring were Charlotte, Bayley, Nia, and Becky. So 3 out of the 4 horsewomen were in the match. Bayley got in some offense, but she couldn't get an elimination. Jax put Bayley on her shoulders, and Flair kicked Bayley out of the ring to eliminate her. So the final 3 were Flair, Jax, and Lynch. And they all had a stare down. Lynch, hold on. What was that? Lynch was sent out to the ring but not eliminated. Flair kicked Jax repeatedly, and Flair picked up Jax for a slam. Lynch slowly walked onto the steps. I'm not going to go over all of this word for word. But Jax got eliminated. Then Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch won the 2019 Women's Royal Rumble. The match went 72 minutes. 3 1/4. You know, I thought it was a good Rumble with the final sequence really standing out. I watched this Rumble match now about 3 times now. I watched it once when it happened live, once earlier on this year, and then when I was going back to rewatch it. And I liked it. I liked it a little bit less, though, the last time. Like, the first time this Rumble match happened, I thought it was about 3.5, 4 stars. But going back, I didn't really... The first half was a little bit boring at times, but when you ended strong, that's what matters. The women at the end... You got to excuse Bentley over here. See, he's playing with some of his toys. Excuse him, but he's over there. So if you hear any noise, that's what it is. It's him in the background. The women at the end did such a great job of telling a story, with Lynch taking Lana's spot and ultimately finding a way to get the job done. I agree with the final 3 in this match. Natalya lasted the longest with 56 minutes. And then you had Charlotte Flair, who went 50 minutes in this match. And Ember Moon. Here's a performance that not a lot of people remember. Ember Moon went 52 minutes in this match. Okay, next up, WWE Championship match. Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. Hearing these two guys, you think it'd be a good match. But now, before you give me any hate, I'm going to give this match 3 stars out of 5. Why? That was such a hard match to rate, because technically they did a good job, but the crowd was dead for most of it, which is surprising to me. That's not a good sign when it's a WWE title match. I really like the psychology of Bryan working over AJ's left knee, then Styles working over the left leg. It just did not connect with the crowd, likely because it was a tough act to follow the women's Rumble. And see, that's never easy to have to follow a Rumble match. There's something I wrote, it's something that I just have thought about. It really was not all that good. Next, Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor for the Universal title. 3.5 stars. I enjoyed the match a lot. It felt like a sprint kind of match where they went fast paced, and you knew they would because it was on the shorter side. Brock won in less than 9 minutes. No surprise here. He did a good job of selling. After the match, he hit Finn with 2 German suplexes. We get to the Royal Rumble match, and number 1 was Elias. Number 2 was Jeff Jarrett. And it was fun to see Jeff Jarrett, who had gotten inducted into the Hall of Fame the year before. It was fun to see Jeff Jarrett. Then you had Shinsuke come in at 3, Angle at 4, Big E would come in at number 5. And, you would just have quite a couple of, good guys come in. Johnny Gargano was in there. Samoa Joe, Kurt Hawkins was in it. And Kurt Hawkins actually tossed somebody out in this match, which was pretty cool. Kurt Hawkins, who was it that Hawkins threw out? Hawkins threw somebody out. I can't, oh yeah, he threw Titus O'Neil out. That's who it was. He threw Titus out, who had tripped and busted his ass at the Greatest Royal Rumble event back in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, back in April of 2018. The winner of the match would be the number 10 entrant, Seth Rollins. I think Seth winning was the right call. Ultimately, Seth winning was right. The Final 4. Oh, and seeing, we knew R-Truth was coming in at number 30, but seeing him get attacked and then seeing Nia Jax come out at number 30 was really, really cool to see. I really loved seeing Nia Jax come out at number 30 in the Men's Rumble because it was very, very surprising to see. She got hit with a 619 and an RKO, which was phenomenal. I love seeing that. And the Final 4 in the match were Dolph Ziggler and Andrade, because Strowman and Rollins were both on the floor on the outside. Both of those guys got into a slugfest. He dumped Andrade out easily. So Rollins, Ziggler, and Braun Strowman. So it was going to be a first-time Rumble winner. The match went 57 minutes. It ended with Rollins sending Strowman onto the ring post. Rollins with a curb stomp. He hit Strowman with the stomp. Match went 57 minutes, 3 1/4. It was a solid Rumble that had the right guy going over, so I'm not going to complain about that. I didn't love the way it was booked because of the story of Rollins on the floor for like 15 to 20 minutes. I get why they do it to build sympathy, but making it look like he overcame a lot, but I don't think it's necessary. I did like seeing a lot of the guys that were in this match. Seeing Pete Dunne, Aleister Black, Johnny Gargano, Jeff Jarrett. Seeing a couple of those guys in there was pretty cool. And seeing Nia, the plan was for Rollins and Lesnar at Mania, which would happen. And ultimately, the 5 stars of this show I'm going to give a Becky, Seth, Asuka, Charlotte, and then I'm going to give Brock and Finn both a spot. Overall, I got to give the show a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed the show, even after it was 5 hours. I don't know what else to say. I think 5 hours is too long. 4 hours is fine. My favorite match was Becky and Asuka, and I think the two Rumble matches were about the same. I was most disappointed by Bryan and Styles, which I was surprised by. Lesnar's win over Balor was fun. Could have won another 5 minutes. That would have been the best match. And we have now finally officially reached the end of the Royal Rumble retrospective review. I am glad to have been able to get all of these videos out to you guys. And sometime tomorrow, I plan on doing a Royal Rumble 2020 predictions video. And then I also plan on having, if I don't have the review for the 2020 Rumble out tomorrow, I will definitely have it out to you guys by Monday. You know, me and my girlfriend's going to be watching it. It's going to be the first pay-per-view that she's actually seen. You know, she's excited about watching the Rumble. And, you know, she's got a couple women that she wants to see win. And she's got a couple men that she wants to see win. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, it's been your boy, Killer Cam. Stay motivated. Peace. I'm out.